Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And speaking of the daily Discord updates, I just posted like a million of them. And why is that? Well, because Cardano just had a huge drop to the downside. Now, of course, it's not only Cardano, everything dropped today. And I mean, I was not expecting a drop this big. I was actually expecting a drop to the 0.382 support level. But as you can see, we actually got to the 0.618 support level, and this was not even on the chart. So like I said, I was not expecting this to happen. At most, I thought that Cardano would maybe get to about 60 cents, but like I said, that would have put us below the bull market support band, so I was not really a fan of that idea. But yeah, I mean, we got to the 0.618 extension, and I mean, yeah, we bounced right now. We are up like 20 cents after this low right here. The low could be in because this is the golden ratio, and this is a very important level, and this shows us that the first wave move to the upside is actually accurate, and that this is actually, yeah, the first wave move of a 1-2 setup. And the second wave move down, I mean, it has to be in right now, because if it's not, we might get another low, and the next low could put us at 38 cents, and I don't really want to see that right now, so we should start bouncing. Now we do have an ABC structure on the chart. At first I thought that this right here was the ABC structure, but no, it wasn't. And actually I think this is a WXY structure, so yeah, it should be in right now. We cannot really, afford to get below the 0.618 support level, because that's very, very important. And yeah, we'll see if we bounce or not. I mean, like I said, we are already up like 20 cents. So far there's nothing to worry about. The structure has not been invalidated. The invalidation point is at about 27 cents, and I don't think we'll get there anytime soon. Keep in mind, we are extremely oversold on the 4-hour RSI, and we are also oversold on the daily chart, and I've talked about this yesterday, but this is actually extremely bullish, because the last time we were oversold on the daily chart was down here when Cardano was at about 28 cents, and look at what happened after that. I mean, of course, we did absolutely nothing for like 2 months, but then after 2 months, we just had a huge pump to the upside, and this is where Cardano went up like 300% in a matter of a couple of weeks. So this usually means that the low might be in. Now, of course, maybe it's not in, maybe we'll get another low, but I think that's very unlikely right now. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, I mean, Bitcoin dominance just put a new cycle high, which was very unexpected, and this has never happened before in any other cycle. Bitcoin dominance never put in a new cycle high in February of a post-halving year, so this is definitely interesting. But as you can see, it got to about 64%. It almost got to the 0.786 resistance level of the previous all-time high, and then it got rejected, and yeah, it's down like 3% in the last couple of hours. And I mean, yeah, this is the new top right now, and it's at about 64%, and we'll see if we start dropping now. I mean, this top right here looks similar to this top right here, so we should, in my opinion, get some type of correction, but at this point, who knows? I mean, so far, like I said, we have not been copying what we did in the previous 2 cycles, but keep in mind, the cross on the bull market support band happened, so I still believe that this will play a role at some point, and, maybe we are about to get another cross, and if we are, that's obviously not going to be too bullish for the altcoins. But if Bitcoin dominance starts dropping now, we should see a pump in the altcoin market, and honestly, I could see that happening. Now keep in mind, we are still in QT, and if you don't know what that means, well, you should probably Google it, because it's easier to understand it that way. But basically what it means is that if we are in QT and not in QE, Bitcoin dominance can still theoretically go up. Now in the previous 2 cycles, exactly 4 years ago, for example, we were already in QE, and QT was already over, for example here in January of 2021, and here in the cycle before that as well. And right now it's not, so maybe that's why Bitcoin dominance keeps putting in new cycle highs. But yeah, I'm not expecting it to get above the 0.786 resistance level. Even if it does get to that level, I still believe that after that we should get a huge move to the downside. And keep in mind, yes, we did get to 64% right now, but this only means that the drop to the downside will only be even bigger, and this is even better for the altcoins. So there's not much to complain about, to be honest. I mean, Cardano was back at 70 cents, and yesterday yesterday it was at about 78 cents when I made the update. It was actually at the bull market support band, and yeah, right now it's trying to get back above the bull market support band. And like I told you, the daily RSI is currently oversold, which is very, very bullish. So until we, if we don't get to about 38 cents and if we stay above the 0.618 extension, the support level, then we should be fine. And I'm still expecting a third wave of the third wave very, very soon. And honestly, it only makes sense to get this right now because Bitcoin dominance is again at new cycle highs. And yeah, this is new. Like I said, this has never happened before. And also, I want to talk about ADA Bitcoin in this video because ADA Bitcoin also had a move to the downside. Now, I've talked about this scenario a couple of weeks ago, and I did not think that it would play out, but it turns out that it did. Now, why am I talking about? Well, in the previous cycle, we had a 1-2 setup on the chart, and in the second wave move down, we actually dropped below the 0.786 support level here. And honestly, I did not really think that it would happen again, but we dropped below the 0.786 support level again. Now, this is not the 0.786 support level of the 1-2 setup here. This is the support level of the, previous high and the low. And we did the exact same thing as we did in the previous cycle. So if we actually want to, do what we did after that, we should start a third wave very, very soon. And that should put us somewhere between, well, let's see, here it actually got above the 1.618 extension of the 1-2 setup on the chart, which means that if we want to actually do what we did here, the third wave of this 1-2 setup has to get above, let's say 2,700 Satoshis and maybe even to about 3,000 Satoshis. So yeah, the ADA Bitcoin chart is literally looking the same as it was looking 4 years ago. So I think this is actually very bullish. And like I said, there's nothing to be scared of, at least not right now. Now, of course, if we want to compare this move that we have right now to what happened in the previous cycle, well, in the previous cycle, this move did not happen. So we are obviously doing something different. We are no longer copying everything that we did in the previous cycle. However, keep in mind, this 1-2 and this 1-2 setup are still very, very similar. And the 1-2 setup after the 1-2 setup in the previous cycle also looks very similar to the 1-2 setup that we have on this chart right now. And if you look at what happened after that, we still had a pump. So I still believe that a pump is coming, and I think it's only a matter of time until that happens. Now, I want to look at Ethereum as well because, Ethereum is not doing too great. It just hit a new low in the second wave right here. And maybe it's in, as you can see, it got to the 0.618 support level of the first wave again. And this is the third time we are doing this. And as you know from some of the past experiences, usually after the price reacts to the 0.618 multiple times, it just bounces. And once Ethereum does that, I think we'll finally get to the all-time highs again. But yeah, I don't know if it will happen this month or if it will happen next month when we get QE. But yeah, keep in mind, we are about to have a cross on the bull market support band on the Ethereum chart, and this is not that bullish. So what we need to do right now is actually bounce and, do something so we don't have a cross. And the same thing can be said about Cardano, although Cardano is not looking too bad. But, if we keep going sideways right now, instead of actually bouncing, we might see a cross. And if that happens, Cardano could actually go sideways until, maybe even April or May. And I don't really want to see that right now. We don't want to see more sideways price action. And that means that, yeah, we kind of need to start bouncing right now if we want to actually get to all-time highs. Now, are we going to get to all-time highs by the end of February like we did in the previous cycle? Well, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what Bitcoin dominance does, because at the end of the day, Bitcoin dominance is important. But even if we don't get to all-time highs by the end of February, that's still not going to be too bearish because there's still let's say about 9 months left of the cycle, and yeah, Cardano has time to get to all-time highs. However, like I said, if we do not get to all-time highs by May of 2025, the chances of us topping somewhere between $5 to $8 by the end of, let's say, November of 2025 are going to get smaller and smaller because, if we want to get to like $8, we should be at let's say, at least $4 by the end of May, maybe even $5. So Cardano is still looking good, but yeah, keep in mind, if we do not respect the support levels, then we might have to turn bearish. And I'm not saying that we will not respect the support levels because, we reacted to the golden ratio, but you never know. Now, if you look at the monthly chart and the monthly RSI, the RSI has cooled off quite a lot. And I mean, yeah, we are currently almost at the moving average on the monthly RSI. And what we need to do right now is actually bounce off of it. So if we get another low, or maybe we don't, but if we actually go lower, then we could use this moving average as, a bounce, and we could bounce off of it. And the monthly RSI is currently at 54, but the price is at like 71 cents. And that's actually very bullish because we are not overbought, which means that if Cardano wants to get to like $5 to $8 by the end of the year, it could do that because it's not overbought on the monthly RSI. So, I mean, I've told you this multiple times on Discord and in my videos. It's, it's still looking good, and I still believe that Cardano will hit $5 to $8 by the end of the cycle. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, who knows. At this point, I mean, we just have to wait and see what happens next because nobody really knows what will happen next. I mean, I don't think anybody was expecting this move to the upside on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Everybody thought that, the top was already in. And I was one of these people. I thought this was the top, but apparently Bitcoin dominance wants to do something else in this cycle. But that's okay, and like I said, this only means that the move to the downside on the Bitcoin dominance chart will only be bigger, so this is even better for the altcoin market. Also, keep in mind, Bitcoin barely did anything, so this is obviously not a left translated peak, just Ethereum went down, and because Ethereum went down, everything went down with it, because yeah, I mean, Ethereum is the biggest altcoin, and if it goes down, everything follows it. And, during that time, Bitcoin, if it just goes sideways, I mean, that's when Bitcoin dominance goes up. So I still believe that Bitcoin will do very well. And I think that once Bitcoin starts, going to the upside again, I think the altcoins will finally start outperforming it and Bitcoin dominance will fall. But we'll see if we do that this month or next month. Like I said, we should be at all-time highs on the altcoin charts by the end of May, if we actually want to get to new all-time highs by the end of the year. So yeah, this is still bullish, and like I said, check out the memberships because we posted like 5 million updates today. Everybody was panicking, and I was telling you that this is actually very normal. And I've talked about multiple altcoins here, so yeah, make sure to check out the memberships, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.